have landed on planet 412. I'll be your captain of sorts as we navigate this strange, cryptid-filled world. Join me on the quest for truth, through the strange, mysterious, and supernatural. This is Planet 412. And welcome to Planet 412 with our host, as always, Sasquatchers Paranormal Podcast. Half of it anyway. JC is along, and then Rye, of course, Voss with Codega's Codex of Curiosity. And, I just said it, Planet 412, welcome. We wanted to thank everybody in the live stream. And wait, let me rewind and go back. Mr. Drew, Christy, the other half of JC's Sasquatchers Paranormal Podcast, is taking care of children aspect and fatherly business, correct, JC?
That's the excuse given, I would imagine.
So he will be here.
It's bullshit.
But
it's bullshit.
Definitely. In the meantime, we want to say thank you to our moderator, Stacy Emps, my wife. Hey, DJ, Tyler, Sugi. I already said hi. I said hi to you, JC, a while ago. Also, to let you guys know, let's see, Puck Elf.
Yeah, Karen Root.
Karen.
Karen, I'm not in the dark yet, but we're gonna bring the lights down eventually.
Rye just said that it's 90 degrees. He has a sweat rag. I'm like, I'm so jealous. It's very hot here. I mean, very cold here in the Youngstown area. So hi, Carol. So real quick, let's roll. Let's get in just to let everybody know that we are not only on YouTube, we are on pilled.net, and we are also on Rumble. I'm going to be adding other different types of formats here soon. So just want to let you guys know. And Rye, is that yours? Did you add something up there?
Did I add something? Sorry.
All right, so I guess that's just one of the ones. Oh, okay, I see how it works. I apologize, I got confused. So it's my live stream, YouTube. So there's YouTube, and then Pilled and Rumble. I got confused.
Cool. And you can stream from here to Pilled. You're streaming through all of them through StreamYard.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know you could do it through
Pilled. You just remind me. Thank you. Everybody on Rumble and everybody on Pilled, hello. I need to give my wife my access to those so that she can go into the chats and comment. So if she comes in here in a little bit, she's taking care of another part of the house, so I will let her know. But hello to all of you. I apologize. We will get someone to say hi in there. Let's see.
With my DJ Tyler. Yeah, that's my dynamic background, and I have to continuously adjust my camera's exposure because if I put it on automatic, it kind of goes bananas. So it'll start to get darker and darker, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, boop, you can see me much brighter again. It's kind of
it's so beautiful there. I'm so jealous that you have a sweat rag because it's so nice. And I think, who was it? I think it was Karen Root that might have said it stinks here or something. It does. Let's see. So just to let you guys know, I've been announcing this at certain, not only live streams, but on other kinds of videos and things like that. All the proceeds to my channel, obviously, it's going through there. Everything I make off of it is going to purchase new equipment. So anybody, I have been directed by other channels. If you can help out Planet 412 reach the next level of greatness, and thank you, Brother Heck, for being a new member. Uh, it will be really amazing the types of things that are going to be added to Planet 412. And, everything that I could do, I need new microphone, and it's going to get a new computer. And that will help the plans that I have. And man, they're awesome. So uh, I've had a lot of complaints about my microphone, but the only microphone I have is through the computer that also has problems. So we'll start talking about that. If you can help and donate to new equipment for the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. I think I just saw somebody say Nellie is here. Hello, Nellie. Um, there's DJ Tyler Radio just made a super sticker. He made a donation. Thanks, brother. And just to let everybody know, uh, Tyler is going to be a guest on my live stream, and I'll tell you when. And I'm really excited about it. He will be a guest on Planet 412, just me and him. I will tell you in a sec. Hold on, let me bring up the big one here. So it will be on the 6th, Saturday, April 6th, 2024. Tyler will be a guest on my channel. Um, him and I will go head to head, and we're going to talk about some of the big experiences that he's had, and I'm looking forward to having you, Tyler. And let's see, we have another
Bringing
donation.
them up.
Thank you. Hold on one sec. I don't. There we go. It's starting to go up now. No.
Wait, bring that back up. Bring that back up, Matt.
Okay, hold on. I might have hit something that. Who was it?
That was Susie. Bring her back. Bring her back up. It's a very pertinent point. Susie Bastille.
Sugie?
No, Susie Bastille.
Okay, hold on. I went too far.
Rye, you're muted.
Susie Bastille.
Yeah, Susie. No, it's right at the bottom. Right at the bottom. She just actually donated $10, and so did Brother Heck. Brother Heck as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Susie. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but okay. Was that a comment?
No, it's a donate. It's a dono. The first.
Thank you, Pamela. Oh, geez, very, very generous. And Brother Heck, I will get to you, brother. Thank you very much. So, just to let everybody know, tonight, if you read the explanation of what we're going to be doing, we have a queue, so to speak, of our hosts, and each of us is going to have a few different subjects that we're going to talk about and bring up. I'm going to go last out of us because it's my channel, so it's my choice. So whoever would like
why don't
start,
I jump on it then? I'm gonna jump on this. Well, we'll just start, okay? So
right on, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you, families. Thank you, Brother Heck.
All right. So my and this isn't like a personal story. This is going to be telling a tale of a area in Canada, of course, in Canada, that is infamous, and it's not. And I'll be honest, I've never even heard about it until L.A. Marzulli brought it up to me, and he mentioned Nahanni Valley, and I'm like, okay, I've never heard of that. And he's like, oh, it's the Valley of the Headless Men, and I was like, Okay, tell me more. But of course, we're not really going to go much into that because he had a lot of other things to talk about. But this Valley of the Headless Men, and this all starts, and from doing some research into this, I would say this is the LBL of Canada. It's located in the north, like Canada is north, but this is northern Canada. So in Canada, we have provinces. They kind of they border all of the U.S. All our provinces border pretty much U.S. Above those provinces, we have territories, huge swaths of land that are, just tundra terrain and everything, and beautiful as well, but kind of not the place you want to go in winter. So I see DJ Tyler has heard about that. Yes. So what this area is, it's in the Northwest Territory, actually. So it's in the Northwest Territories. And this place, it all starts with the Dene Indians and the Nahi Indians. Okay. And the Nahi Indians were, and please forgive me if I don't get these names right, because I don't know how to pronounce them.
We have horrible things planned in the dungeon on Planet 412.
So the Nahi Indians were considered very evil. They were this bad tribe, and they were actually always attacking the Dane. And finally, and it was even rumored that this tribe was cannibalistic as well. Okay, so that might tie into and rumors. It's who knows. So it was rumored that they were cannibalistic, and now, if anybody knows about cannibals and lore, we talk about the Wendigo, right? That is kind of how the Wendigos are created, is technically through cannibalism. Of course, there's other things, but cannibalism, like there's something called like the Wendigo season or something like that, or the Wendigo sickness or illness, Wendigo illness, or the Wendy illness along that line, where you start this transformation and you start this bloodlust. And so the Dane kind of had enough, and they snuck into the territory. Okay, they snuck into the Nahi territory, and they waited there, and they encroached on their campsite, only to find their campsite actually completely abandoned. Nothing, like not their campsite. Like, I don't want to say campsite. That's such an understatement. They, where their village was completely abandoned. There was not a speck of this tribe at all anymore. They were completely gone, and they had no idea. To this day, no one really has much idea where they went. There is rumors that they went south and they're the Navajo, but it's just rumors. No one knows. No one knows what happened to this tribe that completely disappeared. One of the rumors is they went further up into the mountains and became more cannibalistic, which could tie into these stories of how we get into the Headless Valley, the Headless Men Valley, something like that. So now in this valley, there is a lot of lore, to the point that I would say that it is possibly, like one of those places where the veil is so much thinner. This is a place where high strangeness occurs. And the first such incident, other than this disappearing tribe, was the brothers, Frank and Willie McLeod. They were two Scottish brothers, and they're originally from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, where I was born. And they decided that they wanted to go, and this is when, do you ever hear of the Klondike rush, the Klondike Gold Rush?
Yeah.
That was around this time, okay? During the Klondike Gold Rush was around this time. So they wanted to go hit it big, of course, just like everybody else. And so they went up, they ventured into Nahanni Valley in search of gold. But they never, well, I don't want to say they never returned. They returned once, and they struck gold. They did well. They had a lot of gold. So of course, what are you going to do? Are you going to be satisfied with just going once, or are you going to go again? Of course, you need to go again. So They went back, and now It was at this time, and if you need to stop me at any time, if there's any of those comments, please let me know. If you want to. So at this time, they returned around the summer of 1906, and they were never seen alive again. So around 1908, they sent a search party, and a search party found the pair deceased in a camp. Okay, they were in these tents, and they found this skeletonized bodies of them, but both of their heads gone. And one of them, his hand was still on the gun that was beside his tent. It was like he had his hand on the gun. There was, and I never mentioned that there was a third person that went with him as well. That person has never been found to this day. It's not to say, some people might say, well, maybe he was the murderer, but I doubt that due to the fact that, there is so many other, not like there's enough to call this the Headless Man Valley. So that was the first one where they found these two headless men. Now let's continue. That's my narrating voice.
I agree.
The next one is Martin Johansson. And he attempted to become a permanent Nahanni Valley resident in 1917. Martin, he was a Swiss prospector. He relocated from the Yukon. The Yukon is another territory. It's just to the west of the Northwest Territories. And he built a small cabin in Nahanni. The same year, in 1970, his cabin was burnt, and his headless body, again, was discovered laying nearby. So again, we have another headless person. Okay. Now, another one. The guy's nickname was Yukon Fisher. And this was in 1927. And again, this man lost his head. And it was near the same spot where the McLeod brothers were found as well. Yukon Fisher was a part-time gold prospector and a part-time outlaw. That's kind of cool. He wanted to be, he was wanted by the RCMP. For those who don't know, that's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in the Yukon, and he had fled to Nahanni. Also like McLeod's, Fisher was found without his head in a burned camp. I missed that part from before. The camp was actually somewhat burnt for the McLeod's as well. So here we have this kind of tying in with all these burnt camps, headless corpses. Now, rumors started to fly as well that there could have been a headhunter tribe. Like headhunters is kind of like something you would find like in the Amazon or something, but there was this rumor about a headhunter tribe, which might be the Nahi, this lost tribe that disappeared. Rumors were flying about that as well. In 1931, there was another guy. It was Phil Powers. He became the fifth to be beheaded in the valley. His campsite too was consumed by fire. So that's 1931. So we look at that. That is almost 30 years already spanning this this headless corpses and these burnt out camps. Then also in 1945, there was another man, an unidentified, though they believe he came from the province of Ontario. Now, he was never named, but of course, he joined the list of the headless cadavers of the Nahanni Valley. The body was wrapped in a sleeping bag, lying beside a burned tent. So there, we're at how many years is that? That's 40 years. 40 years of this going on. So, the list of names of suspected murder victims goes on throughout the valley. There's Angus Hall, Joel Mulholland, Bill Epierre, and Annie Lafayette. These people disappeared without a trace. Hall and Lafayette left nothing, but the cabin shared by Mulholland and Epierre was, you guessed it, burnt to the ground. So very, very strange. These ones, it's not to say like those ones were gone without a trace. So they could technically be beheaded as well. We don't know. I don't have any years on that one though. So
very interesting.
Yeah. So who's all behind these burnings and these beheadings? And now
it was Rye. That's why he lives in Mexico now.
That's why I fled to Mexico.
So perfect. Yeah.
And if you actually look at my Facebook, my year that it's born, that I have set to be born on Facebook is 1906. So maybe.
Of course.
Very
Maybe
interesting.
I'm an immortal of some sort. Yes.
I'm calling the RCMP right now.
Have fun. They never get out to any important phone
Hey,
calls.
Mounties.
Seems that way. Any video I see, it doesn't seem like they do.
Now
They can't. They have to jump off and on their horses. Like, it takes time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And the red suits.
Yeah, I actually love their suits, to be honest with you. I think they're cool as hell.
Those
Yeah,
are only there. Of course,
have
they're
to
dressed
wear
ones, so they don't really wear those.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could wear one in the States, right? Like, I wouldn't be impersonating a police officer because we don't have Mounties.
No, I wouldn't think you would be. I mean, come on.
So now comes the possibilities of what this is. Okay. So these are the lore and the stories of what is in Nahanni Valley. So, first of all, there is the Nahanni Valley monster. So, the story behind this, it is, and I would say it more is along the line of a Bigfoot. So, it really resembles a Bigfoot, and it's very Bigfoot like. A lot of people have said that this is what beheaded and burns white men. So, very interesting. Very interesting. Another tale, other lore that comes out is there's an evil spirit. It's called the Weather Spirit, and that's said to haunt the Nahanni, making its presence known with an otherworldly shrieks on cold nights. And a lot of people who have traveled through Nahanni Valley tell about like this shrieking wind, and it chills you to the bones, kind of thing. It's kind of scary. Now, giants. Okay. So it's also stated that there is also a race of giants that inhabit the Nahanni, and they cook their meals there's these hot springs, and it said that they use these hot springs to cook their meals. So are they cooking the heads? Something to think about. Now there's also creatures, prehistoric creatures have said to be still alive in here. Native hunters and trappers speak of elders describing creatures that match known prehistoric animals like mastodons and bear dogs. Bear dogs, right? Now, there's also the Wahila, and this is a huge wolf-like being linked to deaths in Nahanni Valley. So, look at all these things that we're coming across here, like that's Dogman, more or less, is what we're going and talking about. Then there's the Nukluks, which is a short bearded men. They're half naked and they're carrying a huge club. So it's like, we're talking about these short beings again, like the Duende or the here in Mexico, the Aluches. So it's really, really interesting. And of course, there's the Naha. I think I was calling them the Nahi, but they're the Naha. That's the vanished tribe that disappeared. So it's really interesting how much, or all the tie-ins from this. So let's shed some light on that one. So what do you guys think of that? What do you think of that story?
Nope. Okay, bye, Matt.
Oh, bye, Matt. Matt's like, I'm out. I don't like it. Yeah.
It was too much for him. He's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's a lot of like connections that you're talking about, like with giants and like things like the Wendigo and things like that. Stories that kind of are transcend all of the Americas, right?
Yeah, really. I know. And one thing I noticed is like these stories are kind of like everywhere, right? But it seems like all these stories are really centered in this one location. Like we talk about the LBL, and I can see Poncho is asking what Vanished tribe. That Vanished tribe was I talked about in the very beginning. It's the Naha. They're called the Naha in the very beginning. I was calling them the Nahi, but it's the Naha. And there was two tribes, the Dene and the Naha. And the Naha were really evil. And at one time, the Dene decided to attack them and wipe them out because of how evil they were. And they went there, and their village was completely abandoned. Like, there was no sign, no trace, And we're talking like the natives who are excellent at tracking and hunting, right? So this is kind of what they do. And if they're able to find no trace, I find that a lot more strange. Also, I forgot to mention there was UFO activity as well, of course, because Bigfoot. You know how that
I mean,
is.
I'm getting major like Donner Party / Dyatlov Pass vibes a little bit
Oh
from
boy,
this.
yeah,
Yes.
that's
I mean,
definitely
if you really want to get into a topic with me, I spent like 2 years reading and studying the Dyatlov Pass when I should have been working back in 2016. So
that's
I have
amazing.
it's such an interesting story, and not to divert, but like the
No,
Dyatlov
no, no.
Pass is like there's so much craziness involved there that even like the government investigated it, and at first they were like, nope, nothing bad happened here, everything's okay, all good, and then like they released a report like 14 years later and like, nah, something crazy kind of happened here. So I'm getting the same kind of vibes now for our listeners and for me, because I'm really bad with abbreviations. What is LBL?
The land between the
Between the
lakes.
legs in
Okay.
Kentucky.
This is infamous for Bigfoot, Dogman, and other high strangeness.
High
And
strange, yeah.
Poncho's asking again, what continent? That is in North America, in Canada, in the Northwest Territories. It's an actual territory of Canada that's just above. It's actually just above BC, more BC and Alberta.
There's like 4 people that live there.
It's like one person for every 100 square kilometers. I'm not even kidding it. Yeah. Lots of room, lots of land, but damn cold.
Hey, when you have all that open space and stuff like that and like nobody living there, that's just like prime ingredients for weird stuff to happen, right?
It kind of is. It really is, actually. It's strange
because there's
like that.
I mean, like, you don't have towns full of witnesses, you don't have like community, you don't have groups of people traveling out. When people go out
a
there,
little insane.
Yeah.
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 Let's be honest. That happens. That happens.
I agree.
When you don't have contact with people, you start to go a little nutty. It's not to say that you're going to go killing people and beheading people.
No,
but who knows? But yeah,
like
so that was a stretch of like, that was a stretch for like 40 years. So kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, that will definitely sink you into mindsets that you don't know what people will do. I really quick wanted to mention what Sugi said, because this is in my neck of the woods.
Oh, seriously? In Ashtabula?
Ashtabula, Ohio. I think Sugi is near there. So giant skeletons were found in Conneaut in Ashtabula, Ohio.
Wow, did not know
and
that.
I often wonder how King's Graves Road got its name. That's in Youngstown. You're correct.
Yeah.
Honestly, Sugi, I'm not sure. You and I need to have a discussion about exactly where you are.
I think Matt, myself, and Sugi need to go investigate this.
For sure. Why don't we do that? Because Andrew, and JC, and myself, Rye, of course, you are always welcome up in the Youngstown.
Just come on down for the weekend. Yeah, come down for Saturday night. It's like,
we're gonna put something together where we
and you can stay at my house, dude. I have the life
fair
here.
enough.
You might end up sleeping with a dog, but
that's okay. I've slept with worse.
Yeah. So just to let everybody know that we're planning on getting together. So me and JC and Drew for sure. And again, we'd love to get you, Rye, but we'll go check out King's Graves Road.
Yeah, I'm bookmarking that right now.
Is that a question being thrown? Sugi says, I know where 3 of the mounds were.
Is that Vienna, Ohio?
Vienna, Ohio is actually very close to Warren, Niles.
Yeah, it's outside the airport, right?
Yes, it's by the Air Force base as well, and by the Ravenna Air Force base.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going to say something. If anybody's watching, my background and you see a UFO, just tell me.
That would be cool. And seeing those, just to get out of things real quick, just seeing the palm trees makes me lovingly hate you at the
I
moment.
know, right?
Ah.
Hang on.
let's-
It's so awkward. Here, there we go. That little guy right there. Yes.
My wife is commenting here. Hold on. She
10 minutes
says,
away. King's Grave is 10 minutes away from your place.
from our house. We have to find out, and I didn't mean to close you on. We have to find out what the meaning of that is. So that will be interesting. So
Well, that's the location they've made for me, right?
sure, yeah.
Because it's King's Grave. I don't. That's a terrible joke.
Okay, DJ, I don't see it. So
No,
we
he's
gotta
just saying. Yeah, he's just
watch.
watching. Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, DJ Tyler. My bad, brother. I thought he
All right.
said
So,
that.
go ahead.
I'm gonna finish. You go ahead and finish.
No, I was going to say. So that's it for my story, and it really pushed me to start to learn more, like to the point that I really want to start doing a way deeper dive on this. So I've already actually today I was contacting people about it. So I'm going to see if I can get someone on my show to talk about it a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
So you're up next, JC.
Yeah, right. Real quick, I wanted to bring up that we have a couple people in the chat that are really interested in Cornwell's Cabbages of Concern podcast.
What is that?
I have
So
never heard.
it's an active parody of Codega's Codex of Curiosity. So
Nice.
this is gonna be a podcast that I'm starting where I'm just gonna parody you. I don't have enough hair.
Are you
and,
really
like,
gonna parody me? That's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
I don't know. I might do like shorts about it.
You're gonna be like, you make sure you go do this because I always seem to do this. I'm like,
to be honest, I've never noticed you actually doing that. So now I'm gonna pay attention to it. All right.
It's usually like I'm like I don't know what to do with my hands, so sometimes I'm like, and I always do So
that's all right. Drew. For the longest time when Drew was doing like our interviews and stuff, he'd always be like, "Oh, that's interesting. That's so cool." I'd be like, "Drew, stop saying that. You have to stop saying that. After every time somebody says something, don't say that."
I know. You know what? Yes, and I'm going to tell this for everyone that this is something that happens, and I can see Drew fell into it, and I fall into it too. You pick up these certain statements that you say all the time. Oh, 100%. Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
like stuff like that.
Sure.
I find myself saying that all the time. Or fascinating. I don't know if you guys do the fascinating.
Yes, Drew. Fascinating. Every single thing somebody would say.
If anybody
he stopped doing that. So
if anybody in our listeners listens or is going to make a podcast, be careful. Don't get stuck saying those words. Like I catch myself all the time.
I mean, you can't help it though. Like sometimes, like that's just like a natural reaction when you're. Yeah. It's like saying like. You know, it's like this. It's like I like this. It's people get stuck in like those things, and that's what they, of course, just naturally say. It's not a big deal.
Hey guys, I want to interrupt real fast. So I want to do this real quick. So Poncho Zort's wooden areas, around giant graves have a different detectable energy surrounding them. I don't know how many different ones are, but you definitely pick up from what I've seen on ghost hunting shows and stuff. I mean, yes. Would you two agree?
I would think so. But giant graves, and when we're talking giant graves, we're talking like the mounds. I think definitely, I think definitely there's going to be something.
Mounds. Yeah.
I mean, like some of these burial mounds have been like dug up, and there's not like giants in them. Like we know that, right?
Well, there's a lot of them have been dug up, and their skeletons taken away. Some of them.
Yep. A lot of them have gone missing. Yeah.
And some of them had been way back years and years ago put in the Smithsonian and
if you start talking, sorry, Matt. Yeah, if you start talking like in the 1800s and you start looking at actually news articles from newspapers in the 1800s, the late 1800s, or even early 1900s, that was in the newspapers, and then it just disappeared. It just disappeared.
Well, it was the mudslide, Tartaria, right?
Yes.
I have a second thing to bring up. My wife, Stacy, sent me something. She did her homework. So, Sugi, this is for you. Uh, Talking about Kings Graves Road. In fact, Rye, I'm going to send you a picture. I don't. I'm going to wait for Rye to get this so that he can put this up before I read it. So, JC, you want to read before I touch on this?
Uh,
Bring up
depends.
one
So
of
I have
your
I have a couple shorter stories. So you go ahead and read what you're gonna.
No,
continue to-
that's okay. I only got 15 minutes. I got to tell everybody I have to check out early, so I only got 15 minutes.
Oh, you know what? Wait, I found out I can do it. So if
Okay.
you guys can take it for a minute,
Go,
Yeah.
JC. Lead it. Tell us.
Yes. Okay. So I have mine aren't as long, but I have a couple different ones. So has anybody heard the conspiracy theory about Avril Lavigne being replaced by somebody else? So
I've heard of a lot of other people being replaced, so let's go.
So the pop punk musician Avril Lavigne, Canadian, Skater Boy, that song was big back in the day. The conspiracy theory goes that she died in 2003 after the release of her first album, and she was replaced by a body double named Melissa Vandella. Okay. So the evidence that people put forward to support this theory is that her appearance drastically changed from 2003 up until like 2011. Like if you look at her pictures from 2003 and you look at her pictures through the years 2005, 6, 7, 8, that it is not the same person. And that this Melissa had been portraying her during this time. And another factual evidence that they put forward is that when Avril Lavigne would sign her signature, it looked like chicken scratch. But if you look at the chicken scratch, it almost looks like it reads out Melissa, right? So it's somebody else. So the first time this theory came up was in 2011, and it came from a Brazilian blog that was named Avril Está Morta, which translates to Avril's dead. And there's some other, if you really look into it, there's some stuff that dates back to 2005 where people were saying that like she was suicidal and stuff. She was dealing with depression. Like she was super deep in depression. Like if you go watch interviews with her from like 2002 and 2003, she talks about like how deep in depression, and she had talked about like her struggles with like suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. So they're saying that she had killed herself or died in 2003 and was replaced by this Melissa girl. And I mean, it goes on to like the record company like being on board with this and burying the news and replacing her with this Melissa Vandella just to continue the profits. And it even gained, if anyone's familiar with the forum Godlike Productions, it's a very big conspiracy theory forum. It's up there with like ATP. So there's a couple different things going on here, right? Because if she were to die in 2003 or 2005 and she would have been replaced by this Melissa, her record company was on board with continuing this conspiracy to profit, and then even was funneling in subliminal messaging into her songs. One of the lyrics to My Happy Ending, Together the Best Year of Our Lives, was subliminal messaging that this supposed Melissa that had replaced Avril Lavigne was kind of putting these messages in to say, hey, Avril's dead. The best years of her life was 2002, 2003. Like she's gone now, right? So in 2015, BuzzFeed, is BuzzFeed even still a thing? Are they defunct? Did they go out of business?
Yeah, no, BuzzFeed's still around.
Are they? Oh, I remember one time I did a survey on there, see what kind of bread I was. It was pumpernickel for anybody interested. But the writer for BuzzFeed, Ryan Broderick, actually tweeted the blog Avril Está Morta and got tons of like just feedback and outlash and stuff for even posting this, that this was like a death hoax. And it was apparently this death hoax, like this subject of Avril Lavigne actually being dead, was very popular in 2017. I completely missed the boat on that. Like, I'm not the biggest Avril Lavigne fan. I don't follow like her news and stuff, but yeah, 2017, it was like a big topic. And there was actually a meme that was going around where people would put a celebrity or fictional character that had died and was replaced, and they would show two pictures side by side and kind of do like the comparison thing. So I think maybe that's like where part of that came from. So in response to this, I'm going to go back. Sorry, I keep jumping around in years here, but I'm going to go back to 2014.
We lost, just to let everybody know, we lost connection again. I'm sure you guys saw. I don't know what's going on. I have full bars on my computer, full bars on my. I don't know why it's doing this. So
And
we apologize, everybody.
no problem, Matt. So JC, like Linda was saying, and this sounds so reminiscent of Paul McCartney.
Right. It
Sgt.
does.
Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. Sgt. Pepper's, if you play it like they say, Paul's dead. It
in reverse, yeah,
and them walking across Abbey Road is like the it's like it's a funeral procession. Yeah, but sorry, go ahead, keep going.
No, it's actually funny because if you look at like related searches, Paul is Dead is the first related search to this Avril Lavigne one, and the second one is and I haven't heard this one before, so this is brand new to me. But Melania Trump replacement conspiracy theory. So I'm gonna have to look into that one. That's brand new to me. Apparently, the Melania Trump that we know is not the real one, but so there's actually a separate death hoax with Avril Lavigne that she died in a snowboarding accident in 2013. There's really not any information about that. Somebody just like posted it on Twitter and it got popular. But when so Avril Lavigne, or this Melissa, what was her name? Melissa Vandella, was asked in 2014 during an interview when she was on tour in Brazil, which is the same country that this blog that started the rumor was from. They asked her, well, how does it feel to be alive in Brazil? And she said, it feels like feeling. What does that even mean? It feels like feeling. And she went on to say, well, I'm here in Brazil. So that's the most of it. It kind of trails off after that. Entertainment Weekly did like a short segment about like the whole or the conspiracy theory in 2019. It just repeated the things I said. They just did a story on that, and then that's kind of it. Like,
cool.
I just what is the cultural? Go ahead, Rai.
Yeah, I was about to say, it just seems like Matt is having issues popping out in. But
it is shut out numerous times. I apologize, everyone. This is my computer. So I was going to try and share something on this stream.
Why don't you fire it over to me then?
I'm going to send you, Rai, to our group, but I am going to read it once you bring up actually a picture is at the top.
Okay.
And you can, you'll bring the whole thing up. So the second you can bring it up, I'm going to read. My wife, Stacy, actually brought me all this information. So I appreciate her. Just to let everybody know, Kingsgraves Road is in Vienna Center, Ohio, which is near Cortland, and Niles and Warren. And it's got a haunted grounds. That is the picture at the top. Rai, if you can bring that up. The one right there. No, go back down. Yeah, right there. The if you can bring that forward. So Kingsgraves Road is 5956. Kingsgraves Road is what you're seeing is a haunted house lot in Vienna Center, Ohio, USA. A house was built on lot 5956, probably sometime after the 1950s. The house is connected to a very gruesome and prolific murder. Nobody has lived at the home since 1991, and it had burned down in 1995. The house has not been rebuilt since in 1991.
I
It
wonder if
said
that's the house.
the Tammy Engstrom story. Tammy Engstrom was 22 years old, who lived in the area. On the 7th of February, Engstrom took a day off work and went to see her uncle, Daniel Hivner, at Nickelodeon Lounge in Maysbury, Ohio. An hour after Engstrom arrived at the club, Kenneth Biros arrived. Biros was a friend of Hivner's, and he lived at 5956 Kings Graves Road house with his mother. The three were enjoying themselves, and Engstrom began drinking large quantities of alcohol. By 1 in the morning, Engstrom was drunk and wanted to go home. Hivner would not allow Engstrom to drive home herself since she was drunk, and so told Biros to drive her home instead. Biros and Engstrom left, but neither of them returned. Hivner then left as well. The next morning, Tammy Engstrom had gone missing and had not returned home. This worried Tammy's husband, Andy, who found out that Tammy was supposed to have come home with Biros. Andy went to ask Biros what had happened. When he arrived at Barros's house, he was surprised to see that Barros had a cut over his eye, and his hands were covered in cuts. Sounds like fingernail cuts. Barros said that these were because he had locked himself inside or out of his house the other night, and he had to break a window to enter his home. And so I'm going to read this till we get there. Sorry, Barros told Andy Engstrom that last night his wife had fallen asleep and was driving her home. Barros had taken her to get some coffee and ordered to sober her up. Barros said that as he stopped to take out some cash, Tammy Engstrom woke up and flipped out. According to Barros, Tammy ran away from his car and just ran away from his car. She was drunk and did not know where she was. And he found Barros' story quite dubious and so called the police to try and find his wife. So we're getting there. The detective who was put in charge of finding Tammy Engstrom was John Klasick. Barros was obvious subject. Are you showing me where it ends up? Okay, so let's move on. Hold on, my wife's helping. I don't want to read this entire thing. Honey, please. Oh,
No problem. On that note, Matt, though, while we're at a natural pause here, I'm going to have to check out. Okay, guys?
Oh,
right.
okay,
Oh
yeah.
my God. Okay,
Yeah,
hold
right.
on. Let me bring it back up. So everyone sees the story. Let me close it. Hey, man. Sorry that you have to go. Love you,
No,
brother.
no, no, no. Yeah, that's okay. I made this before we kind of really started doing our Tuesdays. So I only got one more Tuesday in the middle of the mess of this, but other than that, the rest of my Tuesdays are good. All right,
Well,
guys.
we'll miss you. Sorry, you want to tell everybody what you're doing before you go?
Okay, yeah. So just doing the regular this week. I'm releasing a Pale Crawler episode on Thursday, and that one's going to be good. That's Missy Lay. She's got a great encounter. I've been dropping stuff there, so that's about it. Just go check out the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and follow.
Well, thank you for being here, brother. We're gonna miss you.
Of course. No, all right. See you guys later.
Take care, Ryan.
So, guys, we're almost
And there
to
were
the second.
two.
I just want to finish this real quick.
Go for it.
I'm cutting out a number of stuff, a number of things. Um, let's see where I was. All right, here it is. Beerus then became worried, started telling the detectives. I moved ahead. Detectives were involved. He would not talk about it. He finally told them numerous different stories about Tammy had passed away. He said that she was run over at one point, and then changed the story that Tammy had fallen out of his car while this was moving. However, she died. Biro showed no shame in telling the detectives that what he had done with the body. Barrows had complete. Okay, this was an accident. Barrows had completely dissected the body to the extent of actually removing every single organ and had spread these out throughout Northeast Ohio and Northwest Pennsylvania, for God's
That's
sake.
insane.
Barrows took police to an area behind a train station where he had dumped part of Tammy's organ. Let's move ahead. Well, no, I need to tell you, this is it. Klasik then decided that if Barrows had gone to such lengths to dispose of the body, then he was clearly guilty of something much worse than a simple accident. Barrows later admitted uh, during that night, he had driven Tammy to his house at 5956 Kings Graves Road in Vienna Township, Ohio, then taken her around to the back of his house in a concrete shed. Biros then tried to sexually assault her, but when she fought back, this enraged Biros, who then stabbed her. Barros was found guilty and sentenced to death. He was executed by means of lethal injection in 2008. He should have been had the
Wasn't even
same
good
thing.
enough. No.
Now, getting to the haunting real quick. This is very short. After the murder, Tammy Engstrom's ghost was said to be haunting the house and the surrounding area. This is part of the reasons that Barris's mother moved out of the house. This became the house demonized and was boarded up, known well in the neighborhood, and the haunting even still persisted after the house caught fire and completely collapsed. Sorry, my face was right in there. I was looking down. Everybody, that is beyond messed up. So first, I'm not meaning to laugh. That was almost a nervous laugh. She was
Yeah.
ran over by a car. Um, okay. Uh, that was absolutely horrific. That was like Jeffrey Dahmer type stuff.
The whole thing is psychotic behavior.
It is. It is. Let me go here. Thank you very much for putting that up, JC.
You're welcome.
Sugi, thank you for mentioning that. Stacy, thank you for looking that up. That explains a lot
Stacy's
of that.
awesome. Sugi, you're awesome too.
She is, and
Everybody in here is awesome.
I agree. We've got 39 people. I think some people left because of my long reading. I apologize. Um,
Man,
you
just
know,
shut
I,
up.
I did want some uh, comments from the people about that situation. What
Yeah,
do
what do you
you
guys
guys
think?
think? Yeah, what do you think? I mean, my opinion just on him being going through lethal injection was that was just a slap on the wrist.
That's nothing, man. He should have been
No.
quartered and
Oh my God.
I don't know.
If I was capable of changing some laws with that, with death and the lethal injection, or
Mhm.
deciding on how people should be handled in terms of doing such absolutely horrific things to a human being. Trust me when I tell you, uh, A lethal injection would not be enough. I think that is a
Agree.
situation where the exact same thing should be done to that
I,
person.
I, I'm on the same page. I am very skeptical of corporal punishment by the government, like mandated punishment, because like then you fall into territory where the government can punish you however they feel. But I feel like, and I'm not saying men can't do terrible, horrible things to other men, because of course that
Uh-huh.
happens. But when you do it to a woman, like you're on a totally different playing field here now, right? Like this is absolutely disgusting, and I don't lethal inject. I almost want to keep you alive and just like read your charges against you over an intercom for the rest of your life in your cell, and that's all you hear for
I
40
agree.
years.
I agree. My wife actually, and I'm sure this went farther. I stopped reading. Um, my wife, Stacy, says there is a 5 point stop sign area where you can hear the ghost screaming and say, kids go there for Halloween to be scared.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah, we
Definitely
have like
don't like.
crybaby bridges and stuff like that too.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I mean, some of them, I believe some. That
Mhm.
one, I would like to hear that myself.
Yeah.
That's if if
Linda Sigmund said that women can do terrible things too. Absolutely. They can.
absolutely
100%.
100%. We are saying the exact same thing. Jinx, as my daughter Amira would say.
And I didn't mean that from like a man power against woman thing. I just meant like when a
Yeah,
man does something to like a woman, because there are different powers at play there
I
that
agree.
it's just different. Like just in all honesty, it's different. Like when if a man kills a man, what's he do? He shoots him in a parking lot, and that's the end of it.
Right,
But when a
right.
man kills his wife, he drags her out in the woods, cuts her up into pieces, and throws her in a unmarked grave on the shoreline of a creek, right? Like it's different.
Yeah, yeah. You um take somebody after you kill them, and I hope that he killed her fast and did not do that while she was alive. Um, that is somebody who has a special place in hell, and I would hope that they are still going through whatever's being done to them. Um, I don't know what else to say. It's just how would you guys, feel now? Obviously, we're touching on a subject that is very, we're getting
Touchy.
political and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, very touchy. How would you guys think that that person should have been dealt with? Um, do you think that they should be given lethal injections? Or do you think something else? Do you think it needs to be harder for what happened? Hey,
Uh,
Tammy and Southpaw. She has a good
Susie
comment.
Bastille has been saving me from a cult, apparently. It's her own family's cult, but
Okay.
shout out to
Wait,
Susie.
hold on a second. I want to find hello to Tammy and the
It's up a
Southpaw.
few comments.
Linda Sigmund. Is that what you said, JC?
Susie Bastille's comment. It's
Linda Steele.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 comments up
This one right
there.
here.
Yeah, woman. That's an inside joke. Yeah, thanks,
I'm
Susie.
getting fed stuff from my wife. So I wanted to end this because we have a half. And is Andrew coming?
He said he's coming. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
I'll try and hold on. So there's something I wanted to.
I have
Uh,
more stories too.
oh
So
God, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
no, you go first. You go first.
Well, I actually wanted to hold on a second. One,
Well, it's the JC show, guys. Hey, oh,
you are taking over. Go ahead. I need you to go anyway. Yeah.
absolutely. So I want to talk about like one of the craziest Australian conspiracy theories ever. It's very short, and I'm just gonna read out like what I typed up in this Word document about it. It's like a summary because I don't know anything about Australia except for there are scary
There you
scorpions
are. We're
and
gonna give you more of a
marsupials
look.
with STDs. So there's something called the Summerton Man. And if anybody has heard about this, please say something in the chat. Summerton, Somerton. So on the 1st of December 1948, they found a man dead in Adelaide, South Australia, on the Summerton beach. He was completely clothed, and his shoes had been freshly shined. They hadn't even been affected by, the water or sand or anything. So they actually found tags on his clothing that had been cut off, no hat, which was strange for the time. It was 1948. Dudes wore hats everywhere. Like fedoras, it was Fedora City everywhere that you went. So the most mysterious thing about it was he had no form of identification on him. His wallet had cash, it had other documents, but there was no form of identification, no driver's license, no state issued ID, and his fingerprints and dental records could not be matched to anybody. So what they did find was a tiny rolled up piece of paper that was hidden inside of a sewn off piece of a trouser pocket. So inside of his pant pocket, there was a separate section that was rolled up and sewn off that had a piece of paper in it with a hidden message, and it contained the words "Tamam should," which translates to ended or finished in Persian. Super weird. Like, why would that be in somebody's trouser pocket, sewed up, found dead on the beach? So the book from which the page that had those words torn and sewn into his trouser pocket, Rubaiyat o Omar Khayyam, which was centered around themes of living a full life with no regrets when it ends. So there was suspicion that the death was a suicide. He lived his life. He had a good time. He's like, I'm outie. However, many believe that the man, the unidentified man, was actually a spy. So whether he was an Australian spy or a Persian spy that was spying on Australia intelligence, he was eventually killed by his enemies, thrown in the water, and washed up on the beach, right? So to this day, though, there are no conclusions. No one's figured it out. They've had teams of scientists and investigators from the University of Adelaide that have tried to figure out his identity, and nobody knows who he is. Just the mystery man on the Summerton beach.
Crazy. Andrew is in. So finally, hello,
Andrew.
brother. We're gonna give you the first comments on what JC was just talking about.
Well, I just caught the tail end of it there. Super interesting stuff there. I think spy and espionage, anything is always really fun to chat about.
Hell yeah.
When you put it into this kind of setting, it only gets that much more exciting. Apologize that I'm late. My children were not so down with the earlier start time as I thought they would be. It was hectic in this household.
Have you tried 5 milligrams of Xanax?
I'll save that for next time.
Okay, cool. Thanks for joining, sir.
Yeah. Glad to be here.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah.
JC saying good night to everybody.
Oh, good night, Stacy. You're awesome.
Night.
So we have some comments now showing up about this story. I don't know, Matt, can you throw up some of these?
Yeah, sorry.
Linda Sigma says sounds like a ploy to make people think he killed himself. Oh, absolutely. Can't say if suicide or murder. Puck Elf. Linda again said disgruntled husband may have done it. There's all kinds of things. Like it looks super suspicious, right? Like spy versus spy kind of shit. But like it could have just been, like an aggravated wife kind of thing. Found out he was cheating and killed him. Like it's just weird, like for the time period 1948, like the things that he was found with, he had no ID, no state license, nothing like that, washed up on the beach. Like that was just not like the norm at the time. Like that guys at the time wore specific things. And then like why did he have these Persian scrolls sewed into his pocket? And like they just weren't rolled up in his pocket. It was, you pull out that lining in your pant pocket, it was sewed over top inside of that. So, somebody either had the forethought or something weird's going on there. I think. I don't know. They never found anything out about it to this day. So, still a mystery.
Do you know what the scroll text said?
It was in Persian. I'll have to pull back up. But it said basically like ended, like fulfilled, like my life is fulfilled, that kind of thing. Like it was, so people thought it was a suicide at first, like he had lived his life and he was done. But it didn't, like he had no, cranial abrasions, he didn't have a bullet hole in his head, he didn't have anything like that. So like, can you jump into the ocean and drown yourself? Sure, if you really want to. I mean, swim out a little bit and it'll pull you under, but it was just very unlikely in that situation that that's what happened. And he was fully clothed, by the way.
The amount of effort that it would take to sew anything into the lining of your pocket.
Well, yeah, why would he, if he was killing himself, why would he even bother to go through with putting a Persian text, not in English, Persian.
Yeah. Everything about that is pretty suspicious.
It's just, it's very weird. And again, like I said, to this day, nobody has any idea who this guy is. He's never been identified. They have his full, like they have the body, they have the dental records, they have everything. Just some mysterious man.
Super interesting.
I apologize. I was answering somebody.
Good.
So, Andrew, since you are late, is everything cool at home? You got the little ones to bed, and
yeah, they're zoned out. Usually, I have that little extra buffer when our regular start time at 8:30, but that would have been difficult tonight too. They were sprightly tonight. I don't know if change in the weather or what.
Well, I accidentally told everybody the stream started at 8:30 tonight because I'm an idiot. So apologies to anybody that came in late and missed the first half an hour. That's my fault.
That's always JC's fault. I think
it always is.
At this point,
I completely missed the thing about bumping it up to 8. I don't know what happened. Like I was like, I'm all cool. I was like posting stuff on Facebook, like, 8:30. Come on, guys, get in here. Whoops.
Yeah. So, to let everybody know, we were trying to accommodate somebody. We're not going to say who, and apparently, we caused an issue with someone else. So we're going to have to go back and figure out, or go back to our old time, because it caused issues on other ones.
I'm just gonna speak freely here, if you don't mind. Why do we care?
We can talk about it later. I
gotcha. No drama on the stream. Absolutely.
Yeah, no drama. Just to let everybody know real quick. So what occurs is, in our circle, we try our hardest not to step on anyone's toes, but apparently there's like 5 or 6 other live streams that went tonight or are going, and us moving a half an hour early, I didn't realize caused problems with a number of others. So we are sorry. We apologize. We'll get it figured out. So that being said, nothing was done purposely. We were trying to help someone out, and I guess I should have known better. So
Yeah,
anyway, let's
don't beat
see.
yourself on that.
No,
There's 1,000 live streams at all times.
weird. YouTube has removed a bunch of my views on a video of just the moon on.
Just this.
What is that?
The word is Jusust, J-S-U-S-T. It's actually a Persian word.
I'm sure that's a misspelling.
It is. I'm just making it up.
Yeah. So I definitely can't answer all of what you're saying. You can read it. I don't know, but I do know this. Back to that, what she's saying. We sometimes lose um, likes, um, subscribers. Uh,
Mostly
things
because of me.
happen. Yeah, it's really weird. So it's very strange. So I don't know what to say. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you to everybody that comes
Yeah,
in
I
here. And
appreciate it, guys. I was trying to accommodate someone, didn't realize I caused an issue with someone else.
it happened.
On purpose. So, Drew, do you want to, as we are almost done, do you want to bring up your story that you had brought up or your subject?
Yeah, I have my ingredient for our little potluck here. It's not super well known outside of our little circles, but I thought it would be fun to bring the Lantern Man that is in Boswell, Pennsylvania, to the chat.
Hell yeah!
And if anybody, I doubt anybody, but if anybody here listening has heard the first episode of Sasquatchers, it was a solo episode done by yours truly. It did suck. I don't know. It's better than episode 4.
It was 3, episode 3. It's way better than episode 3.
I get into this local thing that's happening now. I say local, but this is about an hour away from me, and I'm doing some heavy boots on the ground research right now for our next documentary in Boswell. But essentially, what is happening, and there are videos of this on YouTube, on the link. I believe the channel is called Copenhagen Paranormal Society or something. I'll look it up. But there are actual videos of this phenomenon, and the first one that hit was a couple of years ago, and it's a dash cam. And so there's a car going down the road, and off to the side in Pennsylvania, we call it the bush. The really where it starts to get real foresty next to the road. There's very visibly a skeletal humanoid walking, and it's holding a lantern. And this was I would say around 2018, 17, somewhere in that area. And since then, there have been other sightings of this thing. And I talked about it on that first episode. I did a little bit of research, and basically this is happening in an area where it's this centralized dam, and it's kind of the lifeblood of this whole little town. And it's as small town as small towns get. It's all connected. Every road kind of leads back to this area. There's other phenomenon that's happening there, specifically the what's called the brush crawler, which is a pale crawler rake situation. I can't say if they're related or not, but there's several videos of this thing also featured on the same YouTube channel that I had discussed earlier. So, based on my research, I thought that this thing might actually be some type of Pennsylvanian will of the wisp scenario, which is like a light or orb type spirit that lures people out into the woods and then does nefarious things to it. Um, there are videos of the lantern that you can see out off in the distance, like as this skeletal creature is walking.
Are
There
you
is
able to
the
show the video, Drew?
I can try to pull it up right now.
I mean, it's pretty legit.
Yeah.
I've seen it
Uh,
before. It's like it's. I mean, it's dark out and stuff, obviously, but
yeah. It's it's um it's jarring, but if you want to kind of chat a little bit while I focus on,
sure.
yeah, I'll spread my attention a little bit over here. Try to
So
remember how to pronounce this.
why don't we talk about some things we have coming up, Matt? What do you got coming up? You're muted, Matt. You're muted.
Sorry, I was taking care of something on my phone. So just to let everybody know, I have Chris Garitano on my live stream this week. He will be my guest. And then I have, let's see the schedule just to let everybody know. I will be on a person from the UK had reached out to me. I'm scheduled next week. I believe is the date. It will be where'd it go? Drew, are you ready to talk as I'm looking this up, and I can address it at the end of the show
Okay,
if
yeah,
you
I have that. I have that video
go.
pulled up. All right, so I'm gonna do what we always have Rye do, and I'm gonna
Yep.
open up my screen to everybody,
Mhm.
and I will show you this video of this thing.
I'll address when we're getting ready to be finished. What I was just going to say. Here we
Okay,
go.
all right. Is that there for everybody?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so I will go ahead and I'll play this video here.
Can you full screen it, please?
Maybe not.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe you can't. That's okay. Oh, there you
There
go.
we go.
There it is.
So it gives a little bit of a backstory to it. Oh, I'll leave that up for everybody here. So, okay, so I was off. It's 2020 and 2018, but man was returning home from an evening fishing trip at the Cumahoning Reservoir. Now, what's interesting about this reservoir is there have been a lot of deaths there actually documented all the way back
Happened.
to like the 1930s.
The people literally just jump off the reservoir and kill themselves there.
But as you can see, this dash cam video, and
Boom.
it'll
Did you
slow
see it?
down here.
Right there. Look, dude, that
So
is 100% some dude.
it's like skeletal. The eyes are so that is the first sighting of the Lantern Man, and they do have other videos and other sightings, but this is a local group. I've never met them or talked to them specifically, but they have a quite a bit of like the Boswell Johnstown area. So that only has that. I mean, only that has like 15,000 views there, and so
15,000. That's a lot.
yeah, so it became a little bit of a local legend in the area, and I had no idea about it. I live under a very comfortable rock, so it wasn't until I had a coworker that lived out there that was telling me about this stuff. after they heard me express my love of freaky things. And so that is that's what I brought to the discussion here. It doesn't have a lot of information. It's all speculation at this point. But I thought, since it was a local thing that I'm actually kind of boots on the ground investigating myself right now, that I thought it would be fun. Now, that video is what it is, and you always have to kind of take this stuff with a heavy dose of salt, you know. And so it's not lost on me that could be a guy in a suit or something.
I don't know, man. Like, you can see the skin texture color, like, on his body,
Right,
like with
right.
the
Yeah,
ripped up
it's
shirt, dude. If that was a normal dude, like, look at my skin. Obviously, I'm more pale than you guys, but like, look at the skin texture. If you pull that video back up and go back to him on there, like,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
that's not normal skin texture.
Actually,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
with you.
Yeah, Linda
Okay.
Sigmund says that her first real thought was some kind of Native American spirit.
Now, Linda, you bring that up, and that's a really good point, because this area, it's actually, we were talking to Susie not too long ago, and her episode hasn't gone up yet, but in that episode, we kind of talked about Indian burial grounds and stuff, and right where all this stuff is happening, there's like a weird triangle formation of Indian burial mounds. So, like, the town itself, if this is Boswell, there's a triangle of Indian burial grounds that goes around it, you know, like Pet Cemetery
Video
style.
back up, Drew.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll
Yeah,
have to share screen again.
and Susie said she was about to bring that up, and that the lights happen in Hockomock too. So the same lantern lights, is that right, Susie? Like, the same lantern lights are showing up in those areas as well. Yep,
There,
she said
Andrew.
yep.
Here we go.
See here. I'll find
They
this
call
one
them the
again.
Taipei Wonkas.
Willy Wonka's cousin.
Yeah, it's his
There.
Taiwanese cousin, Taipei.
That's who he bought the Oompa Loompas off of. But
You know, that guy's picture looks extremely white.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that,
yeah,
it almost looks like Minecraft, right? Like, that's
yeah.
so blocky.
And so, like, here you can kind of see, like, I don't know what this is, but clearly that's like coming through this pant
Yeah,
fabric.
that normally I'd be like, that's just some guy. And I don't know. That's kind of very
And
abnormal.
this is very pixelated here, but this almost looks like a giant smiling mouth.
Yeah,
where I'm circling there.
I agree.
So, yeah, this caught my attention, and I never really got to do a whole lot with it. But I'm out in this area. A couple of weeks ago, I went out and I spent a good 8 hours out in this wilderness, doing some research and taking some photographs of some weird things. And I'm hoping to have some kind of more concrete evidence of something, whether or not
I want to call out. Can I call out one more thing real quick, Drew?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So go put your cursor up on his head there, right by smiling mouth. Now go to the left. There's a giant blip of black that's obviously cutting a tree off. Like, there's something there.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. So right,
like, that
here,
tree isn't just floating in air, right?
Yeah,
you're right.
And that,
unless it's just his shadow, I mean, but it does look darker than a shadow.
Yeah,
it's as dark. It's as dark as the black on the right side of the screen.
It kind of comes out over to the other side of the shoulder too. Here, it cuts into this tree. So there's like this dark, ominous lack of texture behind this thing.
Let's see. Karen Root says, "Does anyone know if they have used lidar or sonar on the mounds?" Some of them
I
they
do not
have.
know.
I've watched shows where they have done it. I can't answer exactly what they found.
This town here is so small and so
They don't even know what lidar or sonar is there.
yeah, like I will say that we have equipment ordered and we will be running like a thorough investigation with some pretty high tech equipment starting in June once we
This is such a crazy image. When Drew and I first were starting Sasquatchers, this is one of the first things that he showed me was this video. And like I'll be honest with you, like, and I've said it on some other episodes of Sasquatchers, I'm skeptical about a lot of stuff, right? Like you have to be a healthy skeptic. Like you
right.
can't just be like, oh yeah, everything's real. This is all real. I saw this video and I think I saw another one too. And I have no explanation for this other than like I could say like this is some dude in an outfit, but it doesn't match, right? Like some dude in an outfit,
I mean, look
like
at
some
even his
dude.
chest. It looks open. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but his hands, everything is like Lobo out of
Yeah.
DC. White.
Yeah. Let's see if maybe this
Like
will.
he's so out of place.
Yeah, he is, but Le Lou Guru
It's a,
said it looks
it's
like
a
he has
pile of
rubber.
garbage for tomorrow's pickup, Linda.
But yeah, I recommend anybody check this page out because on top of this, they do have other Lantern Man
I think it's the
sightings,
lantern. It's his arm.
but like that's another. Here you see the lantern.
The lantern,
is a
yeah.
lot more lit up at this point, and it's I don't know. It's to me this now looks translucent.
But like there's
Where
been not outside of video evidence, there have been sightings of like floating lanterns in the woods and stuff around that area too, right? Like this isn't just like a one-off.
no, this is not a one-off. I will back up real quick here, and you can see that this is their page. This is the most recent Lantern Man. We could pull it. It's 3 years ago. We could try to
Wonder what
check this
happened to
video
them.
out.
The Lantern Man must have got them.
I have been talking to people. Let's see here. I'll kind of skip through their introduction to just get to the gritty parts here. So this is just like out in the woods. There's oh crap.
Cool.
Kind of looks orby, and people associate this with the Lantern Man walking. This very much like a will-o'-the-wisp occurs when people are out in the woods fishing at this reservoir, and so now it's kind of moving around like a lantern light would through the woods. It doesn't look orby anymore.
It's very much like a will-o'-the-wisp spirit type almost.
And then you can kind of see there's almost a figure behind it. Like clearly that's also a humanoid, walking. You can't see much of it, but
Daniel Evans got lost and had to stand in a mud bog till daylight. You didn't have to jump scare me like that, Drew. Holy sh!
But yeah, so that's about an hour away from me, and I can say that
Lantern Man of Quamahoning.
I have spoken to some people of all ages who claim to see this thing.
ever since you first, like I said, that was one of the things you first brought up to me. It was like, hey, let's do Sasquatchers podcast. And it was the Lantern Man. I was like, I don't have an explanation for the Lantern Man. So let's do it. And Daniel Evans was lost, stranded in a mud bog till daylight. I'm sorry, Daniel, that happened to you.
Yeah.
You survived though, right? Like you're here.
Yeah, I didn't mean to jump scare everybody, but
Yeah, you jump scared me. Holy crap.
you guys couldn't see, but I was also
And ND
startled myself.
Southpaw. You startled ND Southpaw. Way to go, Drew.
That's what the Lantern Man does, man. It just comes out of nowhere and it scares the crap out of you.
I'm gonna run him over with my car. that Buick Encore is going straight into the Lantern Man.
And it'll happen, just not on purpose. That's just his driving skill hasn't improved since high school.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
You guys are hilarious. And hello, Jamie and Masochist Mouse. And so, did you guys? We're coming up on the end here. Did you have anything else to add there, Drew?
As far as Lantern Man goes, I wish I had more. The reason that I wanted to bring
Be
that,
really cool. Normally,
Yeah.
my expectations was I would be a little hard on pictures like that as well as JC, but that was kind of telling. I don't know. That was interesting to me.
I analyzed that video and those photos for weeks.
yeah, and
That's how I am. I'm very skeptical.
I'm a guy that likes to talk to
Me
people
too.
about this stuff. So I reached out, and there's little areas of like this pocket of civilization that are willing to talk about this, and there are people who have said that they saw this in the 80s. So there's a lot to discover here.
There's no Photoshop going on in those images. There's no tampering in the video. I looked at like
Thank you,
meta.
Tyler.
I looked at the metadata of the videos that were posted. Nothing had been altered. So like the video that was posted to YouTube is the original video.
Right.
So it's as somebody who's like super skeptical, and I'm looking at metadata, so obviously I'm like super hardcore skeptical about it, right? Like I don't have an explanation for it other than maybe somebody pulled off a very good costume. But with those zoomed in images and we're looking at the pixels and that, it's a very good costume.
Yeah, and we we don't have the time to go and look at all the videos here. But if you guys want to go check that channel out, like I said, I've never met or talked to them, but they have a lot of stuff, and it's not just Lantern Man. They have these crawler videos, and that's kind of what drew me to this area, because that's more so the documentary that I'm leaning into right now. And as soon as we're able to link up and have JC come out to Pennsylvania, we're gonna put a lot of time over in that area of the woods, and hopefully come up with something, or at least make it out alive.
That'd be nice.
It's pretty.
I would like to live.
I tracked through it, and we might end up getting stuck out.
It's like it's super swamp territory, and then when you go too far, it literally drops off because it's a dam.
Yeah.
So if you go too far, you just fall 100 feet to your death.
It's interesting, and the videos they're wild, man. And yeah, there's no explanation, and I'm kind of glad I went last, because there's not a whole lot to even really talk about other than, here's videos and this is local and we're trying to figure it out. But
yeah,
excellent. And Rye did a good job. I did have something, but I'll save it for next time. I actually read Sugi had brought something up, and Stacy found information, and I read the long version of it. JC did an incredible job. Now, what is coming up for Sasquatchers Paranormal Podcast, guys?
Good, Drew. I'll let you go first.
All right, we have some cool stuff. I'll just start at the top. Yesterday, we put up the second half of our interview with Brandon Wright, who operates Tinfoil Tales, and so you can hear the conclusion of that. it's pretty wild. He sent me some pictures of the topics we were talking about while we were talking about them, and I actually literally deleted them because I didn't want them on my phone. Like I felt like I was inviting presence into my house by even having these pictures on Facebook. So I deleted them out of Messenger. So go check that out. It's pretty creepy. But on top of that, we have, in conjunction with our pal Susie, came up with this fantastic idea to run a live streamed paranormal trivia game show.
This is the greatest idea.
So Sasquatchers will be having a turn-based trivia paranormal Jeopardy style game
It's
show.
the first time anybody's even hearing about this. Like Matt's never even heard about this.
Yeah.
This is brand new.
The idea was birthed for almost just kind of joking around, and as soon as
so spontaneous.
Full credit, Susie made the joke, and I was like, "No, we're doing it. We're going to do that." So, if anybody wants to be a,
which by the way, Susie Bastille is going live at 10 p.m. here in 20 minutes. So go to her channel.
Yeah, for sure. And so if anybody wants to be a contestant, reach out to us. I'm gonna book 3 or 4 people who are gonna come on and do trivia with us, and it's gonna be as over the top and cartoonish as I can make it. I'm talking we're gonna have set designs, costumes. It's gonna be as 80s style game show as possible.
Awesome. Well, I just to let everybody know, I did not know. I don't know if he told me and I forgot, but Rye is a guest on BMR right now. So it must be just that I forgot. So definitely go over to BMR, check them out, check you out, you guys out.
Absolutely.
10 p.m. And on channel 412, Planet 412. I've been calling it the 412 sometimes. I don't know why I like to do that. New videos coming out this week. Like I said, I'm going to be a guest on a UK interview channel there coming up. Let me think. There are a couple formats that I'm going to release in the next week. And then, like I said, my next live stream, we will have Christopher Garatano as our guest, one of my good friends on Planet 412. And that is everything for this week, guys.
I have one more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing. We forgot Far Out Folklore. Far Out Folklore episode 5 or 6. Is it 5 or 6? I don't know. Whatever. 12 p.m. Eastern time on Fridays drops. It's under 5 minutes, guys. It's so good. Like, just go check it out. Something cool just to look at. And the first thing I want to say is, Matt, thank you so much for putting on these shows. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you to Matt's wife. Thank you to every single person that's commented tonight. Like, you guys have no idea. Like, I'm so excited for this shit every single week.
I'm blessed and honored to have you two and to have Rye and
I
to
love
have
all you guys. Absolutely.
person that comes. I say this all the time. People are probably like, "Oh God, okay, here he goes." I swear to you, you can ask my wife when she's here next time. Oh, and we owe you a family picture with Stacy's shirt. I'm also wearing. Tex sent me a shirt for being a guest on Tex's
front porch. Yeah.
Front porch. Sorry, I'm going blank. But thank you. And we love every one of you guys. I truly mean that. Again, if we stepped on anybody's toes tonight, we didn't mean to. That's all, with that. I like I said, a lot of people are going and having stuff on. Nothing was done on purpose. I want to real quick thank every single person that donated. And again, for anybody that's coming in late, I'm just going to say it. I'm trying to buy new equipment. As you saw, I think 3 or 4 times we were kicked and had to come back in. It's my computer. So that wasn't done on purpose. Any proceeds go to a new microphone and stuff. You can actually see on the YouTube channel for Planet 412 in the description. There's a link. But Brother Heck, DJ Tyler, Pamela Stefanich, Brother Heck went crazy tonight. Ooh, it closed. Hold on.
Susie Bastille, she donated.
Susie Bastille. Brother Heck is just great. And again, Brother
Sugi.
Heck and Sugi.
And DJ Tyler Radio.
Yeah, DJ Tyler Radio. I mentioned him as well. All of you. And Sugi, if I didn't put that up earlier, there you are. So to everybody, thank you so much. Again, Rye is on BMR. You guys are going to be where again right after this, Andrew?
Are we going live at 11? True.
I don't know if we're going live tonight. We have 2 interviews. We have an interview at 10, and then we follow that up with an interview at 11. We might be able to do live at 11 because our guest is West Coast and it's only like 7 or 8 o'clock for him.
Why don't we just go live with all of it, man?
We might go live. We might not.
Go to Sasquatchers Paranormal Podcast Facebook group. You'll hit the like, subscribe. Yeah.
Go ahead, finish, JC. I interrupted.
Oh no, that was it. I'm sorry. I interrupted Drew. Drew, finish.
Again, go to Sasquatch's Paranormal Podcast, subscribe to their YouTube channel, and do the whole thing, guys. Notification bell, subscribe, like. Also go to their Facebook group. You can also go to our Supernatural Town Hall Session Facebook group. Go to Rise, Codegas Codex of Curiosities YouTube channel and his Facebook group. And then finally, Planet 412 right here, Planet 412's Facebook. We love you. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you later this week. Peace, everybody.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe as it greatly helps out the channel. I'll see you next time on Planet 412.